It's 9 a.m. on August 4th, and I have got to get up because we are going to be putting together our magic show today for a couple of gigs coming up. Alright, let's get started.
This is going to be a video on the anatomy of a magic show and how to build your own from start to finish. So make sure you smack a like on this video and subscribe for more content because we post every single week. And if you have any questions or comments as you watch, make sure you post them in the section below and I'll make sure I answer them as soon as I possibly can. Again, thanks so much for watching and I hope you enjoy. Any professional magician will tell you that aside from having good tricks for your show and a good plan for your show, the next most important thing that you're going to need is a professional image. And unfortunately, most of the time, a t-shirt and a pair of shorts are not going to cut it. I'm a pretty casual performer myself, so sometimes I can get away with a t-shirt and slacks as long as I throw a blazer over the top. But if the occasion calls for it, I can be found in a full suit and tie for shows. The point is to be different than the people you're there to entertain, because it makes them more interested and curious as to what exactly you do for your performance, and it's a lot easier to get them to pay attention for the whole show. After your stage look is squared away, what you need to go over and figure out is the anatomy of a good magic show. And with any show that I perform, the layout is basically the same, whether it's a kid's party or an adult show. I pretty much follow the same pattern. You want to open with something quick. Something that involves everyone in the room. This is your attention grabber. Once you have their attention, then you can go into your introduction. Your introduction is also where you go over any rules or anything like that that you might have for your show. The attention grabber is always before your introduction. You've got to give them something so that way they want to pay attention for the rest of the show. After your intro is your set list, and for me, this usually breaks up into 10 to 12 solid segments. Once you get to the end of your set list, you need to finish up with a grand finale. And the grand finale obviously needs to be the most magical and the biggest trick that you do for your show. Pro tip, if there's a guest of honor for the event, I always try to make sure that I involve them in the show somehow. Usually they're just my volunteer, which is great, because that allows them to feel included and be part of the show. They get to come up on stage and help perform some of the best effects whenever possible. And again, that makes it feel more memorable for them and allows them to help entertain the crowd as well. Next, we need to come up with some filler material. These are things that aren't magic per se, they're just jokes. One of my favorite pieces of filler is the breakaway wand. Here's actually a clip of me using the breakaway wand in one of my shows. Hang on to this, okay? It's very important to me, along with my father. Oh, if it breaks, I would be very sad. Okay, so hang on to that when you grab the rest of the stuff. It's gonna take it. Go ahead. What'd you do? I've got a spare. I've got a backup. Hold on one second. Let me get it.
This spare's on the table.
Thank you very much.
You're the one split in half again.
I have one more backup. This is it. This is the final backup, okay? So you take that one and hold it for me. Oh! Okay, you want to use this one? This one here? Okay, hold on tight. Okay, let me... Man! That's a lot. bringing all the magic out. That's what's happening. Alright. So, what else do we need? You okay? You need a second? You want to breathe? Okay. Alright, so. Of course. Okay, so what we need here. You guys, you know how to make a piece of cake, right? What's one of the main ingredients for cake? Things in the filler category don't necessarily involve a lot of skill. They're just jokes and being silly. Usually. Some general rules for organizing your set list and building your magic show are: number one, it has to be visual. If you're thinking about putting it in your set list and it's not something that can be easily seen by everyone in a large audience, it doesn't belong in your magic show. If you can't entertain everyone, it's not going to be a good fit. Number two is you have to have peaks and valleys in your show. You can't put everything at the beginning of your show because by the end of the show, no one wants to stick around for the grand finale, and that's really the most important part. And you can't put everything at the end of the show because no one wants to pay attention long enough to get there. A good format to follow is having set list piece, piece of filler material. Set list piece, piece of filler material. So on and so forth throughout your show. That way everyone is entertained for the entire hour, hour and a half performance of your show. So, with these simple principles in mind, and if you follow all the rules, you should be able to quickly and easily create a great magic show. And if you stuck around to the end of this video and you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. And also, I'd appreciate it if you shared this video with someone you thought could benefit from this advice. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time on Building the Business with Magic Mark.